Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 431 based on novel. So let's start. The her in the past was like a butterfly that had turned into a soul inside Wang Lin's hands. He tried to hold on, but he grasped only empty air as her soul floated into the sky from his arms. The past her's eyes were filled with sentiment and tenderness as she slowly aged. An entire lifetime passed and her hair turned white and she passed away. She closed her eyes, and this became a scene Wang Lin could never forget in his life. She raised her right hand to touch Wang Lin's face one last time, but she lost all strength midway and her hand fell down. The tears that fell from her eyes fell on the ground and turned into a flower that may or may not bloom in the next season. In the blink of an eye, thousands of years passed. The past was like a fleeting moment. Thousands of years couldn't be considered long, but it was enough to forget everything. However, Wang Lin couldn't forget this and had always remembered. Now it was as if time had reversed, and Wang Lin was holding the person he wasn't willing to give up. However, because Li Muwen had turned into a soul fragment back then, he couldn't grasp anything. Now, although Li Muwen was an illusion, she was so real to Wang Lin that he felt like he was holding the world. Except now he didn't have the strength, he didn't have the body to continue holding her. His hands gradually dissipated as the black fire burned and turned transparent. His hands passed through Li Muwen's body and dissipated. His face rapidly changed from middle-aged. It was as if years had quickly passed and he had turned into an old man. Then he became transparent. It was as if the past had repeated itself, only their positions had changed. The only thing that didn't change was the gentleness in his eyes as his body dissipated. The black fire finally took over the blue fire and Wang Lin dissipated completely from the world. The gaze under the black fire moved further and further away from Li Muwen. Li Muwen's body slumped to the ground as she looked at the seemingly eternal gaze in the sky, a mind trembling. Li Muwen struggled to roar, "Who the hell are you?" There was an unknown pain in her heart. She didn't know where this pain came from, but it became stronger and stronger. The fire of karma ignited and destroyed everything, but it couldn't destroy Wang Lin's Tao heart and his memories. The fire of karma is formed by my obsession. I have used my obsession to cultivate, and I have cultivated for my entire life for her. The heavens are heartless and want to erase all obsession. However, my obsession has already turned into the fire of karma, and not even the heavens can take it away. If this fire of karma wants to burn my body, if this fire of karma wants to destroy me, I won't stop it. This fire is the obsession of my life, this is my Tao. What is the point of cultivating the heartless Tao of the heavens? I have cultivated with my obsession and used this obsession to form the cycle of karma. So what if I don't go to heaven? So what if I go to hell? As long as hell is free, what's so bad about it? Just as the fire of karma was going to destroy him, a shocking vermilion bird cry echoed. A vermilion bird appeared inside the black fire. The vermilion bird was large, and it was no longer blue but black. It was like a black phoenix being reborn inside the black fire. The cry of the vermilion bird echoed across the entire world. It penetrated the human trial and spread out from the incense stick on the back of the tortoise. It shook the entire great emperor planet. The handsome young man had already waited for several days, but he hadn't become impatient at all. He had just taken out another peach and was about to eat it when his body trembled. He stared at the first incense stick. The cry of the vermilion bird echoed across the world. Tao Master Blue Dream's eyes shone a strange light, and there was also a hint of shock in them. The cry of a vermilion bird. This is not an ordinary vermilion bird, this is. The cry of this vermilion bird was indeed not ordinary. It contained a powerful defying nature that would never yield. It seemed like it had come from hell rather than the heavens. Impossible. Grandmaster Yun Luo foresaw that that little bastard would face a life and death trial that would be extremely difficult to pass. Master Simo's expression changed greatly as he stared at the first incense stick. Grandmaster Yun Luo also revealed an expression of shock on her pretty face. Her right hand hidden under her sleeve moved even faster, forming after images. However, her fingers trembled and her fingertips tore open, and blood flew out. It was as if a force had stopped her divination. Or Wang Lin's current situation was outside of her power to divinate. The old vermilion bird revealed a hint of excitement and let out a laugh. His eyes lit up. As the second-generation vermilion bird, he understood the cry of the vermilion bird extremely well. Just by hearing it he could understand what had happened inside the human trial. Good boy, he was able to reform his vermilion bird under the fire of karma. After this comes the 9 karma retributions. This is the most difficult part. Only the old man sitting on the lizard still had his closed as if none of this could catch his attention. The woman beside Tao Master Blue Dream was staring at the first incense stick. She was biting her lower lip, and tears filled with complicated feelings were falling. Inside the human trial, the black vermilion bird opened its wings and flew up into the sky. Its body was covered in endless black flames and emitted an unimaginably high temperature. However, this temperature didn't affect this world at all and was condensed on the vermilion bird's body. The cry of the vermilion bird became even louder, and it contained a fluctuation that could shock one's mind. The black vermilion bird was formed by Wang Lin's soul. The fire of karma has ignited and will burn the cycle of karma. Help my vermilion bird awaken a 4th time. The black vermilion bird hissed and charged at the sky. When it reached the top, black fire erupted from its body. From a distance, this fire looked like a giant torch, and the heart of the fire was the dancing vermilion bird. With my obsession fire, Wang Lin's voice echoed across the world. The fire around Wang Lin turned into a sea of flames and spread with the vermilion bird as the center. In the blink of an eye, the entire sky was covered in this black fire, but no living thing in the human trial was able to feel it. This sea of fire that covered the sky became stronger and stronger. It was like a violent wave that swept across the sky. Human incense stick, ignite! Wang Lin's roar became the voice of the vermilion bird and spread across the sky. The sea of fire suddenly contracted toward Wang Lin and turned into a pillar of fire that shot into the sky. Wang Lin's soul reformed on top of the black vermilion bird inside the fire. He looked up at the sky and waved his hand. Rumble, 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 rumble. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the sky and turned into a force that wanted to rip the sky open. At this moment, strands of black smoke came from the first incense stick on the back of the giant tortoise. Ignited. The first incense stick has been ignited. Let's see how long he can last. The cultivators had waited for many days and were becoming impatient. If not for their fear of the young emperor, they would have already left. However, at this moment, they all looked at the black smoke that was rising up. At first the black smoke was like silk but soon increased like a signal fire. The high temperature began to spread and the human incense burned brightly. The burning was extremely intense. From a distance, the fire was monstrous and was rapidly burning down the incense stick. Its speed was indescribable. In an instant, more than half of it was burned to ashes. Compared to the other 2 incense sticks, this scene was shocking. Just as the 10,000 cultivators thought the incense was going to burn completely, in a flash, the fire suddenly stopped. This pause seemed to fuse with the minds of all the surrounding cultivators, causing their hearts to tremble. Master Simo stared intently at the human incense stick. Grandmaster Yun Luo's face was a bit pale, and there was a hint of gloominess in her eyes. Inside the human trial, Wang Lin looked at the sky as he stood on the black vermilion bird. His body gave off endless black flames and he took a deep breath. He looked down at the gentle figure slumped on the ground on the mountain peak and softly whispered something. I'm Wang Lin. After he finished speaking his last words to Li Muwen, he suddenly raised his head. 9 karma retributions, come. The 9 karma retributions was the retribution of the fire of karma. The first generation vermilion bird had lost his life to this retribution. If not for the protection of the celestial emperor, he would have died. At this moment, Wang Lin was going to go through the 9 karma retributions as the 6th generation vermilion bird with no one protecting him. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple fire appeared in the world, with white and black above and below them. These 9 colors were the 9 retributions. It started with the black fire and ended with the black fire, forming a cycle. If he could pass them all, he could ignite the karmic fire, which would allow the Vermilion bird to awaken a fourth time. His corporeal fire would enter the realm of ethereal fire. 9 karma retributions, descend. The black fire around Wang Lin seemed to be swept by a violent wind and suddenly changed to blood red. The blood red light seemed to dye the entire earth red. Thunderous rumbles echoed and the endless red fire around Wang Lin charged toward him from all directions. On the great Emperor planet, the first incense stick began to burn down once more after the pause. It had been exactly 1 breath of time since the incense stick had been ignited. The blood-red fire filled the sky of the human trial. It formed a powerful heat wave and surged at Wang Lin. The power inside this fire was enough to burn the heavens itself. Wang Lin was inside the fire and standing on top of the black Vermilion bird. He could feel the temperature of the blood-red fire, and when the heat wave closed in, he felt the pain of being burned. The first of the 9 karma retributions was red. It represented all the slaughter Wang Lin had done for his obsession. This slaughter retribution surged and burned violently. The Vermilion bird under Wang Lin let out miserable cries under the heat of this red fire. Even Wang Lin's recently reformed soul almost collapsed, and he was about to be burned alive. Although he had tried to predict the power of the 9 karma retributions, he didn't think the first retribution would already be so difficult to bear. Inside this red fire, just an instant felt like an eternity. The black Vermilion bird couldn't bear it and its body rapidly shrank. The black fire on its body rapidly turned red. If it turned completely red, the Vermilion bird would become part of the first retribution. Its power would then increase and it would devour Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a roar at the sky, and there was a hint of madness in his eyes. The first retribution was unexpectedly powerful and he had found it difficult to resist. However, Wang Lin would never yield. He waved his arms and inhaled. First retribution, let's see if you will burn me alive or if I will devour you first. A sense of madness appeared within Wang Lin. The more dangerous it was, the more indomitable he became. At this moment, in just 1 breath, all the red fire rushed into his mouth and Wang Lin devoured it in an instant. All of this happened in an instant and all the red fire had disappeared from the sky. However, it erupted inside his body and he became like a blood person. The blood light pierced through his body as if it was trying to tear his body apart. This body was formed by Wang Lin's soul, and at this moment, the red fire was burning inside his soul. On the great Emperor planet, the first incense stick on the giant tortoise burned like crazy. Before everyone's eyes, the black smoke coming from the first incense stick suddenly turned red. The red smoke was monstrous and lit up the entire planet. The surrounding cultivators all gasped and subconsciously wanted to retreat. Just at this moment, even more intense red light came from Wang Lin's body. The red light moved inside his body, creating extremely high temperature. At the same time, the burning of the first incense stick suddenly stopped for a moment. It was like a force had erupted from within, stopping it from burning. The old Vermilion bird stared at the first incense stick with worry in his eyes. Inside the human trial, Wang Lin had devoured all the red fire. He felt like tens of thousands of bolts of thunder were exploding in his body at once. The intense pain made him feel like he was going to disintegrate. Wang Lin let out a roar and waved his hand. The half-red Vermilion bird rushed toward Wang Lin and they instantly fused into one. Wang Lin's expression was ferocious as he allowed the fire to burn inside his body. He endured the intense pain as he continued to refine the red fire. He was trying to make the red fire his own. Just at this moment, the sky changed and an orange light appeared. When the orange light appeared, the second retribution descended. Wang Lin had no time to refine the fire he had consumed before the orange fire surrounded him and rushed at him. After the orange fire came a monstrous yellow light, followed by a giant wave of yellow fire. What was even more shocking was that behind the yellow fire was ghostly green light. It was like a barrier that created shocking green fire that rapidly closed in. 3 colors of fire had appeared at the same time. 3 of the retributions had appeared together. This was the true terror of the 9 karma retributions. It wasn't like the divine retribution, which gave you a glimmer of hope and had a break between each retribution. This was a destructive retribution, and it was going to kill once it appeared. The 3 retributions covered the sky of the human trial. The first incense stick outside reacted to reflect the situation. Orange, yellow, and green smoke surged on top of the incense stick. The first retribution hasn't passed yet, and the orange, yellow, and green retributions came at once. How is he supposed to pass this? The old Vermilion bird's expression changed greatly. This was his first time seeing the 9 karma retributions, and he didn't expect it to be so fierce. Master Simo was the most happy about this. He revealed a vicious smile as he stared at the first incense stick and thought, although I don't know what's going on, it looks like it will be difficult for that little bastard to escape death. It's a pity I can't find his secret, but it's good that he will die. Grandmaster Yun Luo also relaxed a bit. The injuries on her fingers had also healed. She looked at the first incense stick and thought, it looks like he isn't the person divined by the ancestor. Father, Li Qianmai bit her lower lip and turned toward her father. There was still confusion in her eyes, but it was accompanied by pain and pleading. Dao Master Blue Dream let out a sigh and softly said, I will help him, you can rest assured. However, I feel like he will be able to pass this calamity. Inside the human trial, Wang Lin's body was still giving off a red glow and his eyes contained a struggle against fate. 3 of the Nina retributions have appeared at once. Good. I want to see how these 3 retributions will destroy my soul. He didn't give in to the pain and laughed instead. He suppressed the pain in his body as he waved his arms and inhaled once more. I'll inhale all 4 of these fires into my soul. Either you all burn me to death or I devour you all. An unspeakable sense of pride, an unexplainable attitude toward life, an unrecordable sense of loftiness toward the heavens and heavenly Tao, and the unpaintable pursuit for a thought. All of these had fused together in Wang Lin's laugh to form a fate-defying sound. As his laugh echoed, 2,000 years of cultivation flashed across Wang Lin's eyes. As his memories clashed across his mind, his parents appeared in his heart. The bitterness of going back to his hometown, kneeling before the graves of his family members, the rainy night when his family was robbed from him. All these scenes flashed through his mind. As the memories resurfaced, the orange fire rushed into Wang Lin's body. It crossed paths with the red light. If the soul was filled with sorrow, one would think about one's home. If the soul returns to one's home, tears of sorrow would be shed before the grave. After the orange fire, the yellow light rushed in. It formed a seal of fire around the orange fire and burned Wang Lin's body like crazy. Time was ruthless, and the yearning for those that parted would become an eternal injury that would accompany you for a lifetime. Ghost-like green fire arrived and covered the entire sky green. The green fire was like a ghost, and it suddenly entered Wang Lin's body. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and the flowing memories in his head stopped. The 4 kinds of fire burned like crazy and a destructive force appeared. Wang Lin's refining speed couldn't compare to the 4 fires at all, and it seemed like he was about to be burned alive. Wang Lin raised his hand and waved it to open his storage space. The jug filled with dragon blood appeared in Wang Lin's hand. Just one mouthful of this dragon blood could cause the fire inside Wang Lin's body to increase in power greatly. At this moment, he didn't hesitate to laugh and drink from the jug. He drank the entire jug in one go, leaving not a single drop. He waved his right hand and threw the jug away. The fire inside Wang Lin's body surged. The hot dragon blood turned into a sea of fire and began battling the 4 colors inside his body. As he resisted, a vortex slowly appeared deep inside Wang Lin's soul. This vortex came from the heaven-defying bead that was gradually awakening. I have devoured all 4 of the retributions into my soul, so it has nothing to burn. Why hasn't the 5th retribution descended? The fire in his body had reached a limit. He let out roar and rushed into the sky. The sky was like a barrier, and he quickly arrived at the end. Thunderous rumbles echoed as the sky collapsed. There was another land behind the crumbled sky. It was a land filled with endless souls. It was like the underworld. The 10,000 cultivators staring at the first incense stick had found that the fire on it had stopped completely. It remained motionless 100 feet above Wang Lin. Time slowly passed, one breath, one breath. In a flash, more than 5 breaths had passed. The 4th generation Vermilion bird had only lasted 5 breaths, but now Wang Lin had unexpectedly also lasted 5 breaths. 6 breaths. 7 breaths. The handsome young man's eyes narrowed and revealed a strange light. Just as the incense stick lasted 7 breaths, a wave of exclamations echoed. This wasn't just one person, but thousands of people. Soon, the sound was heaven-shaking. What caused them to exclaim wasn't the incense stick lasting 7 breaths, but the fire on the human incense stick had unexpectedly extinguished. The incense stick had been extinguished. This sudden scene caused an uproar. Even the old Vermilion bird's eyes widened and filled with disbelief. This? Master Simo was startled for a moment and shock filled his eyes. Grandmaster Yun Luo's expression changed greatly. She ignored the injuries on her fingers and tried to divinate once more. The human incense stick has been extinguished. This has never happened before. Even during my trial and the 4th generation's trial, the incense stick was never extinguished. The incense stick has actually gone out. The old Vermilion bird's mind trembled as he looked at the extinguished human incense stick, and terror appeared in his eyes. The incense stick has been extinguished. How long did he last in the trial? 7 breaths or infinite? What happened during the 3rd young emperor's trial to cause the incense stick to extinguish? This matter is too terrifying, it is unimaginable. Just as all the cultivators went in an uproar, an even more shocking thing happened. The 2nd incense stick that represented the earth incense stick suddenly ignited. No one had touched it, but smoke quickly appeared on top of the 2nd incense stick. Wang Lin had broken the sky of the human trial and had appeared in a boundless land. This land was covered in cracks and there was a deep pit that led to the human trial. As Wang Lin rushed out of this pit, fire spread out from his body. The entire earth was lit up by this fire. At the edge of the land, there was a barren mountain, and a person was sitting on top of the mountain. This person seemed middle-aged and there was an illusory Vermilion bird mark between his eyebrows. He was originally cultivating as if he hadn't moved for tens of thousands of years. However, at this moment, he opened his eyes and a strange light flashed by. The aura of a clan member. Just as Wang Lin appeared in the earth trial, endless fire appeared with him. Indigo light rushed out and the world was covered in a sea of indigo fire. After the indigo fire was the blue fire. The 2 fires surged toward Wang Lin. Indigo originally came from blue, so the 2 fires entangled together. After them was a purple fire that covered the sky. It was like a demonic fire that stretched across the horizon. Indigo, blue, and purple fires all rushed toward him at once. Wang Lin's face was twisted and his soul was about to collapse. The 4 fires burned in his body, causing his eyes to turn cloudy. In an instant, the fire inside him penetrated his body and erupted outwards. The red, orange, yellow, and green fires had torn his body apart. Even the Vermilion bird inside his body was burned to death. Wang Lin's soul collapsed. At the same time, the indigo, blue, and purple fires closed in on Wang Lin's collapsed soul. When the 7 colors gathered, it looked like a rainbow was burning the sky. The expression of the middle-aged man at the horizon changed. He waved his right hand and the mark between his eyebrows flew out. It flew at an extremely fast speed toward the 7-colored fire. At the same time, Wang Lin's body on the Great Emperor planet was covered in a 7-colored light. Fine cracks appeared on his body and blood began to ooze out. It was a shocking scene. The old Vermilion bird didn't hesitate to arrive next to the 2nd burning incense stick. He ignored the fact that it was rapidly burning and placed his right hand on it. His powerful divine sense rushed in. Tao Master Blue Dream also stepped forward and arrived next to the 2nd incense stick. Blue light covered his body and his finger landed on the 2nd incense stick. Inside the earth trial, the 7-colored fire raged. Not even the first-generation Vermilion bird was able to pass this trial without the protection of the Celestial Emperor. The retribution burned Wang Lin's soul. Just as his soul was dissipating, three forces came to his rescue. However, just as the three auras closed in, a strange force suddenly erupted from within the seven-colored fire. This strange force revealed an ancient aura, and it felt like it was the ancestor of all things. The moment the Vermilion bird mark from the middle-aged man touched this strange force, it was bounced back thousands of kilometers. It was as if the power that had awakened won't allow anyone to approach it, or to be more accurate, no one was qualified to approach it. The middle-aged man's eyes narrowed and he suddenly stood up. Horror quickly gathered in his eyes. This? What is this? The old Vermilion bird's divine sense arrived, but the moment it touched the mysterious force, he was directly knocked out of the earth trial. Tao Master Blue Dream's divine sense followed, but the moment he touched the strange force, there were flashes of blue light and he was also pushed out of the earth trial. On the great Emperor planet, the old Vermilion bird's right hand was knocked up into the air. His eyes were filled with disbelief and he subconsciously took a few steps back. What kind of power is that? Tao Master Blue Dream felt his finger go numb and retreated in shock. He knew a lot about Wang Lin, and he recognized the force that had terrified him. It was the heaven-defying bead. Tao Master Blue Dream didn't speak, and he silently returned to Li Qianmei's side. He will be fine. Master Simo watched all of this in shock. He had noticed that the two of them had gone in to save Wang Lin, but he never would have expected these two powerhouses to be knocked back. Grandmaster Yun Luo's expression became even gloomier and her hand moved even faster. She faintly felt like she was about to learn all the secrets that were happening inside. Tao Master Miao Yun stood up from the cloud and his eyes flashed. What Daoist Water said was correct. Inside the earth trial, the moment Wang Lin's soul had been burned, the heaven-defying bead appeared. Ever since the Lord of the Sealed Realm left it, the heaven-defying bead hadn't appeared. No matter how much Wang Lin searched for it, he couldn't find it, it was as if it had disappeared. However, at this moment, the heaven-defying bead had reappeared. The moment it appeared, the seven-colored fire trembled and began to rotate. It was inhaled by the strange force inside the heaven-defying bead and formed 7 eternal fire seeds. A bead the size of a baby's fist floated there, and 7 fire seeds floated around it. An illusory figure gradually formed and appeared in the world. The 7 eternal fire seeds were located in various parts of the body that was materializing. When he opened his eyes, the 7-colored fire erupted and surged across the world. Wang Lin's expression was calm as he looked at the sky in the distance. The entire world seemed to have lost all color beside the 7 colors around Wang Lin. Everything else had turned black and white. It was like a landscape painting, and this black and white gave off the feeling of endless desolation. The last retribution of the 9 karma retribution was descending. The white was the sky and the black was the earth. They formed 2 extreme fires and closed in on Wang Lin. It was as if the sky and earth were crushing down to destroy the 7-colored firestorm and Wang Lin, who was within it. It was too fast and closed in an instant. The white fire was hot and began burning the 7-colored storm. As the white integrated into the firestorm, another color was added. Wang Lin's expression was still calm as the 8-colored fire surrounded him. He watched the black fire close in. The 9 karma retributions began with black fire and ended with black fire, forming a cycle. As the black fire closed in, Wang Lin slowly closed his eyes. A thunderous rumble echoed as the black fire rushed in. This caused the 8-colored fire to reach the limit of a 9-colored fire. All 9 karma retributions had appeared, forming an earth-shattering storm. Wang Lin was at the center of the storm, and his hair was moving without any wind. Aside from the 7 different colored fires in his body, the black and white fire quickly condensed. The white fire was in his dantian and the black fire was between his eyebrows. When the 2 fires completely formed, Wang Lin opened his eyes. The world rumbled. Ignite my karma cycle fire. As Wang Lin's voice echoed, the 9-colored fire around his body condensed toward his eyebrows and fused inside. It turned into a 9-colored fire lotus. The fire lotus had 9 petals of 9 different colors. At the moment it appeared, a 9-colored vermilion bird charged out from the lotus. The 9-colored vermilion bird seemed to have been reborn inside the lotus. It flew into the sky and let out a vermilion bird cry. The cry of the fourth awakening. On the great Emperor planet, the cry of awakening echoed. The earth incense stick had only burned halfway when it suddenly paused and gave off a 9-colored light that lit up the entire planet. The old vermilion bird was startled before letting out a loud laugh, and excitement filled his eyes. He actually passed the 9 karma retributions and ignited his karma cycle fire so his vermilion bird could go through its fourth awakening. The fourth awakening requires a large amount of fire. Whether he can completely awaken and reach the realm of ethereal fire will depend on this. As his elder, even if I have to cheat, I have to give him a hand. The old vermilion bird jumped into the air and disappeared before everyone. In just a moment, the roar of a dragon echoed in the distance. This roar was filled with anger and indignation. One could see a 100,000-foot-long dragon being brought over by the old vermilion bird. The surrounding cultivators were all gobsmacked as the old vermilion bird carried the struggling dragon above the incense stick. He waved his right hand and a wound appeared on the scab on the dragon's head. Blood fell like a waterfall on the incense stick. Under this intense pain, water gathered in the fire dragon's eyes. It was filled with grievance and reluctance, and it began to struggle even more violently. With a bang, the old vermilion bird landed on the dragon. A surge of fire entered the dragon's body, causing even more blood to flow out. Damn it, you little dragon, don't move recklessly. If this kid awakens successfully, this old man will let you go free. When the fire dragon heard this, it showed a hint of hesitation, but soon it clenched its teeth and did its best to squeeze out more blood. This video will end here.